back. If you are just joining us, you're on to your favorite program, Democracy and the Rule of Law. So, Barrister Obiarume, let's come back to domestic issue. We've been in the foreign arena for the bulk of the program. Yeah. So let us look at the issue of the Chief Justice. This should be a cheering one. The Chief Justice will be retiring. We're calling it a day sometime this month, 22nd of August, 2024. Yes. And the new Chief Justice has been nominated. Yes. Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, who will be taking over from the present current Chief Justice, Justice Ariwola. Yes. So, of course, the judiciary, this should be a cheering news, because there will be a beacon of a rare light, shining on the judiciary. So, what would be your expectation in this new dispensation? And mind you, of course, I don't know. They said she will be the second female Chief Justice in the history, of the country. So, so this should be a good news for all the women,
like you said, is
anyway.
Like you said, it's a sharing news, and the outgoing CJN has served, and is retiring. He's going to have a rest, and we pray that God will give him sound health to enjoy his retirement. He has put in a lot to Nigeria by virtue of his office. We also know that there's no perfect system in anywhere in the world, and our judicial system is not an exception. We are aware that, sometime late last year and early this year, there have been calls for major reforms in justice administration. That even a retiring Justice Supreme Court at that time came out to even say openly that there is a lot that needs to be put properly at the Supreme Court and the other areas. And he mentioned some things that are ordinarily not expected at the highest, at the highest court of the land. But you see, one thing that is constant is change. Someone else is coming on board, and then what are those areas that one will expect her to look at? One of those areas is the area of appointment to judicial offices, appointment of judges. There is need to ensure that judges are appointed on merit. Let it not be based on who you know. Because what a judge does in the discharge of his duties is dependent on the competence of that judge. So if the judge is not, very competent, at the end of the day, we may be having judgments, orders that may be questionable. So the issue of merit should be uppermost in the appointment of judges. We are aware of, some people that when you look at the judgments, you may be wondering, So let the issue of appointment of judges be transparent, be on merit. If it means making an advert, those that are interested in applying, and if it is maybe to ask them to take an examination, then do some, at least subject them to proper screening, irrespective of who is sponsoring who, because we know that what we have seen in recent past in Nigeria is that the sons and daughters and in-laws of wives of governors, justices of the Supreme Court of Appeal, and others are the ones that are taking, positions in the bench. I don't think that you should continue. It should not be allowed to continue. You should give opportunity to, people that are seasoned legal practitioners, good legal minds to go there and dish out, good principles of law that will stand the test of time. The legal aphorism goes that you cannot give what you don't have. No, it's not. Nemo that what don't have it. You can't give what you don't have. And so if you don't have it, you can't give it. So we have seasoned lawyers that occupy the bench at various levels, then it will be good for our judicial system. Again, let there be transparency in dealings. You understand? Promotions of judicial officers and their welfare.
Right.
Let it be well taken care of. And also, in as much as I don't subscribe to what appears to be the current trend that that the judges should not give ex parte orders, because there are instances where you cannot do without giving ex parte order. Otherwise, something that cannot be compensated by way of award of monetary damages or compensation, you will occur. But you see, like the outgoing CJN has always said that judges should be careful in awarding ex parte orders. Now, it is important for the incoming CJN to ensure and record the need to avoid what we have seen in the recent past, especially in political electoral petition matters, where there have been conflicting orders in respect of the same subject matter between the same parties or same subject matter, where, for example, one court will say this should be done, another court, in respect of the same party, will say don't do this. Those things, they tend to make our judicial system as sounding incoherently, and to the eyes of the public, they give it wrong interpretations. But those interpretations are natural deductions, because if Justice A said this person is not qualified to contest for an elective office, another Justice B says no, this person is qualified, the same person. The question is, why are they incoherently saying, and who will the body that conducts election, INEC, obey?
All right.
And we've seen that even in the issue of River State, the political trauma in yes, a lot of things. There should be need to sanitize the judicial system and avoid such conflicting orders.
All right, but so let's get back to Deji on this issue. What are all other surrounding? Of course,
my perspective is that the incoming CGN has a lot of work to do, because as of today, the entire judicial system is in decadence, is in decay. There is practical signs of disintegration. If you get to our courts, you will see the condition in which our judges are sitting in many of the courts, in many of the high courts. Although that's the problem also that the governors ought to have fixed, but that is affecting our judges. Then you also have untrained personnel. Problem of untrained personnel. Most of the court officials are not trained. The attitude, their disposition, the way they perform, the conduct of their duties tells you that these people need training. Then you also have most of our judges, the official corruption that is going on in the bench today is something that is strange. Apart from the question of appointment and recruitment, there's a lot of official corruption, and one of the retired justice of the Supreme Court mentioned it when he was at the valedictory, when he was leaving and retiring from the bench. That problem has not been addressed up to today. Then excessive influence of governors, of politicians in the appointment process, recruitment process of judicial officers is also another problem that we are